Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. I'm Sean Butler. The game has just finished. Well, it finished a minute ago. I'm not even sure what the final score was. I think it was 2-0. I'll be honest, like, it was the weirdest environment I've ever experienced a game, especially given what had come 3 days ago. I'm really just, I'm unsurprised, not surprised, and I'm a little bit uninspired by everything about today. From the team performance, from the fans, if I'm entirely honest, I was really surprised that the game went the way it did. Obviously, I wasn't expecting much from the game. I don't care about the result. No one does. I get that. But like, given the proximity to what was such a massive night at Tottenham HQ, the night that I was a part of, I was just expecting a little bit more from everything, you know. I found it weird. Team selection was strange. Like, it's just so typically Tottenham. Decky goes down to an injury. I don't really, didn't really see what happened, but he gets up, tries to get up and goes down again, so he's out. If you're a player that tries to get up and goes down again, then that's obviously significant. It's not a muscle injury, that's something probably significant, so that's terrifying. And Crystal Palace were just bombarded us. Like, what do they have? 2 or 3 disallowed goals? I lost count. But I'm not just talking about the effort. Right? My disappointment here is just, I'll include the fans in it if I'm entirely honest. I just felt like I got up in my South Stand. The South Stand is supposed to be the fan side that creates the noise, creates the energy. There wasn't any real raucous appreciation of what they've gone through on Thursday. And the last Thursday, there was none of that. There was no real noise. I was in the high road beforehand. I went up to see the Change for Tottenham thing. That was like irrelevant, if I'm entirely honest. And again, if you saw my video earlier, I pay respect to the people that are in charge of that for figuring out a way to like pick the lesser of all evils. But those that did turn up, there was nothing there. There was 50, maybe 100 people that were in the initial stages, and then maybe 150 whatever that walked down with it. There was no real noise about that. There was no noise when I got to the stadium. There was a little bit of noise out the back, in the section here, just in the kind of banging on the walls thing, saying, singing like, "Oh, Spurs on the way to Bilbao." That was the noisiest that we were. That was the noisiest we were, and it was in the half an hour before the game. As soon as the game started, there was not a single song. I don't remember hearing a single song being sung by anybody in the South Stand or anywhere else. Crystal Palace, much the same. I get it, by the way. I'm not sitting here suggesting like, it's an outrage and that there's no reason to explain it. I get the context, but at the same time, everything just felt like it was just an irrelevant annoyance that this whole thing had to happen for everybody. And you know what, like Irish Hotspur, Jacko, Irish coming over, Dermatron and those boys coming over from Ireland, Jacko and his mum I met coming over, and obviously my man Nick Lazy 8 coming over from New York or Seattle. A lot of Koreans here today. They're all coming over to see their Tottenham perform. And I just feel like it was an effort that's unexplainably poor, even to those that have the biggest glass half full eyes on. I'm not sitting here complaining because I think that it's a big deal. It's not a big deal in terms of the outcome. Who cares, right? Yeah, West Ham beat United, so we now sit 17th or whatever, right? But I mean, that is a thing, by the way. That is a relevant factor. United obviously didn't care, Tottenham didn't care, but it was just, everything about this felt like it was, and it was more around like a moment for everyone who's a Tottenham fan who comes here regularly to get together and have a few beers in the sun. The football game was an irrelevant byproduct of the reason to be here, not the focus. And that to me was poor. It was poor. We were outclassed, outplayed by a team that also didn't care. I'm not going to sit here and, I just want to be unequivocally clear. I'm not sitting here saying that it wasn't expected. I get it to a degree, but at the same time there's levels. And as I said to you before, after the West Ham game and other games, there is a reason why the players that were on that pitch are not playing or not competing for the chance to be in Bilbao. Because if you can't criticise yourself for what it is that you do for a living. I don't care what your excuse is. I don't care what your... Sorry if it's popping, by the way. I don't care. You're not professional. It's unprofessional to... You're not earning your wage. I don't like... Don't twist this into like me being like overly angry. I'm not angry, I understand, but at the same time I just feel like it's a shit show. And I'm also very surprised, for what it's worth, by the team news. Decky starting, Bentacle starting. Decky got the injury and we needed him. I don't know what the state of that injury is, but that's problematic. And yeah, Bentacle could have got injured as well. We definitely need him. Bissouma could have got injured as well. We definitely need him. I don't know. There's not much to say here apart from just look around. Right? There's no anger. No one's talking about Ange. No one's talking about the team. No one's talking about the game. Everyone's talking about, you know, normal life shit with their friends or how they get into Bilbao, right? I don't know. I don't want to make a bigger deal out of this. I don't want to make a bigger deal out of this than needs to be, but I think it needs to be called out a little bit that there's a lot of people that pay a lot of money to come here, whether you're a season ticket holder or whether you're travelled from the corners of the earth to be here, which a lot of people have, people that I know have, to be given that, what we just saw. It's unacceptable from a professional perspective, because those guys who were playing today, for the most part, weren't going to be playing in Bilbao anyway. And I'm not talking about commercial, the relevance of finishing above West Ham or Man United or whatever else. Forget all that shit. It should just come down to like have some pride in your own effort. And there was absolutely nothing there today that was worthy of anything other than, you know, just thumbs down. So I'm unimpressed. I don't really remember much of the game, if I'm entirely honest. Like I say, Palace had a couple of chances that were maybe rightly or wrongly ruled out. I guess rightly ruled out, but you know, I went out for a beer at 40th minute mark, and I thought the game finished 0-0 at half time. And when I went back into the stadium at the 50th minute mark after trying to get my beer and my sausage roll, I go back out to figure out it's 2-0, we're 2-0 down. You wouldn't have known from the atmosphere, from the energy. Nothing changed. Just really poor. Guys, I'm unimpressed, but not for the reasons that you probably think. It's more just around, like, look like you give a shit. And the people on the pitch today didn't, and that pisses me off, because, you know, we all make a lot of effort to come here and we pay a lot of money to come here, whether you're coming from Enfield or Surrey in my case, or from Seattle in the case of certain people that I know. I just don't think it's okay. And Crystal Palace were worthy winners, but yeah, not okay. Let me know your thoughts. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, bye bye.